guys, welcome back to the Private Villa. I am joined with Ben, and
Hello.
basically, we're just going to be talking about how the year has gone for Aston Villa. We were originally going to just talk about the Chelsea video, but obviously we're coming up to New Year. I actually thought we were playing Man United the day before New Year, but it's actually on New Year's Day, so Chelsea was our last game. But talk about that. I just wanted to talk about how we started off the year and then ended off the year. So we started off the year, I believe, was a win against Watford and then a win against Leicester. And then we had this really, really bad run of form leading to the 4-0 loss at Leicester. That was just before lockdown. And then we really improved our team just to stay in the Premier League. Obviously, we were in a really bad relegation battle. Which, Dean Smith, the only way we sort of escaped it was going really defensive. It really brought out a lot of players. So that's one of the main topics we're going to be talking about in this video. So I'm talking about it brought out a lot from Konza, El Ghazi, believe it or not. McGinn, Grealish, obviously, has really, really improved. Like, we thought it was good then. He's definitely on the elite levels right now. But how would you describe this year? Because obviously we started out really negatively. I know me and you just absolutely we just knew we were going to get relegated, but now we're coming to this point where we're actually thinking Europa, like top six. So what do you think about it?
Well, it's as you said, really. Obviously, we started the year, really dull. We just started the channel at Leicester, battering us 4-0, and then obviously we had the Carabao Cup. And then, obviously, we went into the COVID and we had all that. And then, although it looked like Villa was going to go down after the Man U game, luckily they had a good spell of form and luckily managed to turn it around and it took the last game. And it was from that point on we really said, there needs to be big investment. We obviously made the videos, who needs to come in, who needs to come out. Although there were still some players that we hoped would still be here, like McGinn, like Grealish, obviously.
Yeah.
But you also had to look and say, well, Samatta wasn't good enough. Midfield, we weren't the greatest. And overall, defensively, although we were fine, in the end, we were one of the best defensive teams on coming back to lockdown. Overall, it just wasn't really enough for the Premier League. And then obviously we go into the new season with the new signings of Cash, Traore, Watkins, Martinez, and Barkley. And we're thinking, okay, we're showing some ambition now. Probably going to still be a little bit better, but overall, not much. Obviously, we start off really well the two games against Sheffield United, and I believe it was
Fulham 3-0.
Fulham 3-0. And then, so you're thinking, oh, wow, we're looking great. They were playing really well. Obviously, for me, one of the best players that came out of last season, Konza, came back in. And he's like, oh, he's there again. Grealish begins performing. And then obviously we go on to Liverpool, which is probably not only one of the biggest results this season for the Premier League, but also for Aston Villa as a whole. The fact that we managed to smash the league champions, the Super Cup winners, 7-2 is just quite astounding. And there was some honestly excellent performances there. And then it kept getting better. We obviously beat Leicester. We kept that going. Unfortunately, losing to Leeds and Southampton, I believe, just. Then we'd be Arsenal again. Goes back to another bit of losing form. And then it goes back to where we are now, having beaten Wolverhampton Wanderers, West Brom, Crystal Palace, and now getting an amazing draw with Chelsea. It really shows how much of the great calibre. I was saying this to you. For me, Villa right now are the best. If Liverpool are going to win the league this year, I don't think it's going to be as convincing. I think, if anything, they're going to get it at the last moment. And then, but apart from that, I don't really see any team that picks up form. You could say Man U, but ultimately they're not really a team that's going to play well throughout the year, considering they only just beat Wolves last night. But when I look at Villa, I think of a team that's consistently performing well, consistently getting the right results, and really surprising everybody. And it's, as you said, there are some great players. It shows, although injured, how much we miss Ross Barkley, because he adds that extra level of quality in our midfield. Obviously we've got Ollie Watkins, who's done more in 7 games than Wesley did in his first year. Matty Cash, obviously, a really good step up. People were questioning, why not Gilbert? And to that I say, although Gilbert's performance-wise wasn't that bad, overall, you got to look at his stats: 0 assists, 0 goals, not really contributing much to the team in terms of that.
Yeah, sure.
And then, obviously, we watch Cash, and it's such a difference in that quality, and that's why he's the starter. And I think, although it'd be nice to think that after this year, perhaps Gilbert will hopefully still be that the one on the bench rather than El Mohammadi, since El Mohammadi will probably leave this year. It's nice to have that little bit of level of competition. Obviously, centre half-wise, we didn't buy a new one, but we've still managed to reinvest and get the best out of the likes of Konza and House, who I think have been two exceptional players in the last 2 games. Obviously, Mings, for me, just falling massively down. I think he's been a little bit exposed right now. Target stepping up. Martinez being one of the best buys of the window, really, for a player that spent a load of wasted years at Arsenal, had a good 6 months back with them in the lockdown to come back to be probably the best goalkeeper in the league right now. And then obviously we have to talk about Jack Grealish, who's probably one of the best players in the Premier League right now as well, for being just overall like your Paul Gascoigne, just being someone that's going to control that game. And every time he gets the ball, you know he's going to be a threat. But it's as you said, we're looking at this season, we're saying we can achieve something that doesn't feel ready yet. For me, it's not ready yet, because I think as much as I'd rather be top 6, and crash out of the Europa League, just because I don't think our squad's ready enough for Europa League. Obviously, there will be reinvestment if we do get it, but I think we're just not at that level yet, even with the first 11. But I'd love to say that Aston Villa finished 6th this year compared to 17th last year. It's just an amazing step up, and it just really shows that when you put your mind to it, you put that level of ambition, you show how good we are. We can be, and we probably are, one of the best teams in the Premier League right now. We are the most exciting team for me to watch in the Premier League.
Oh, yeah. By far.
And overall, to all the haters, to all the Brighton fans who are mugs for saying we're going to finish below them, it's as simple as we are. We're back, essentially, and it's nice to see, because we are still one of the best teams in England. We have more trophies combined with Everton than the likes of Arsenal. I think probably Arsenal got more. But, when you turn to that stature, we are up there. We're one of 6 English clubs now to win the Champions League. And overall, it's just so exciting to see.
There's just talk about that, obviously, with Arsenal, and obviously, you got that Brighton. Well, you know what we're talking about, that Brighton fan that kept giving it all at. Oh, you're going to finish below us. You're going to be in the relegation. Like, I'd probably say since beating Leicester, I haven't thought anything about being in any sort of relegation battle. I don't even feel like we will drop below. I don't think we can drop below 12th, really, if we keep playing.
I was going to say, I think I saw somewhere like 10 points away from what we achieved last season, which is massively impressive considering we're just about to reach half of the season already, and we're playing like. It's just such an amazing difference to see what we are this season compared to the last season. It felt like every game was a must-win, and it essentially was. But in that case, we were just trying to more so survive relegation and just make sure we find our footing. And now we found our footing. We're finally taking advantage of everyone being so poor and not really capitalising on any form. Whereas we're able to show that we have a good team here, a good set of young players, and a really good manager who, for my money, should be manager of the month this year. Not manager of the month. Manager of the month this month, just because undefeated in December, playing really good football, and just because the position.
It's amazing. Is that?
He's not going to get it.
I agree with you. He probably won't get it, but it's like we haven't lost in all December. We had that win against Liverpool. We capitalised it on the Leicester win. Dean is such an underrated manager, and I know me and you were definitely on the verge last season being like, there might be someone else better out there. We were considering like Sean Dyche, but we'll talk about Sean Dyche. I will say quickly. I saw this comment. I'd love to see Sean Dyche with like £100 million to spend on a team. a bigger team than Burnley, and you know what I mean. Like he can actually do all this. Like I feel sorry he's at a team like Burnley because obviously they're not doing much.
Well, they've got
And
some. Well, they've got some players in the likes of Barnes, Pope, obviously, McNeil. They've obviously got Tarkowski and Ben Mee. It's just everything
yeah,
around them's just not at the same level it
they
needs to
need
be.
that funding.
Yeah,
They need that money. Like I believe Burnley, they can get like top six if they were on that sort of money that we're on. But they've been really unfair to him because you know Sean Dyche is definitely a top manager. But on to what we were talking about. With Dean Smith though, like he came up from the Championship, first time in the Premier League. Obviously, the first season, you've got a really good chance of it being like a very hard season. Obviously, it was for us. But last season, Sheffield United had a really good run. Leeds are having a really good run this season. But for us, it was like, I know it was really tough, but we did get through it. And you know, if we didn't go through it and then we did go down, who knows? We might not have Dean Smith right now. We might be one of those teams again, just like not even getting playoffs. And I can't really see that for Villa. Really, we're one of those teams. We do deserve top six, and with the manager we've got now, I mean, we've got Dean Smith, a Villa fan, Craig Shakespeare, a Villa fan, our captain Grealish, a Villa fan. Like everything clicks. You know, I can't really say there's any weak links right now in the team. If you really wanted to go into it, I'd definitely say it would be Target. But other than that, I mean, everyone has weak links, don't they? But, you know, obviously there's only him as a weak link. We can definitely achieve top six. With like, I mean, for next game, we've got Man United. We're definitely going to have Ross Barkley back. There's been a few comments, should we have Mings back? I sort of think he should come back for this one. I do believe him, Konza and House had a really good game. But with Mings, I feel like that's one of those games that he's definitely going to get like a goal in. Because obviously he got a goal at Old Trafford last season, which did get us that point. And that goal from Grealish was just amazing. One of the best goals I've ever seen. But yeah, obviously, I just like where we are right now because obviously our bench is really improving right now. Obviously, we brought El Ghazi off. He's been on for 5 games, got 5 goals in that time, which is just, I can't believe I'm even saying this about El Ghazi, but it's just amazing, isn't it? Who else? Obviously, Traore. I didn't really think he had much, like, I didn't feel like he really was anything before, obviously, the West Brom game, because it's like every time he got the ball, he was really slow in that. But ever since that West Brom game, he's definitely upped his game. With the Chelsea game, I think he only had like one mistake. Obviously, Cash definitely telling him, right,
yeah,
you got to like up your game. And then after that, he was everywhere. I really like that. But you know, he's only had like 12 games with Villa right now. I'm not too sure if it is 12, but you know, I think I was definitely in the wrong to be judging him too early, so I am going to apologise for that. I think at the end of the season, come to the end, he will definitely be one of our top goal scorers alongside Watkins, Grealish, El Ghazi and all them. But yeah, I'm just really happy to be a Villa fan right now. Like everyone around us should be like so jealous. I'm talking about like Tottenham, Liverpool, like teams like that. They just don't have what we've got, and you know, we are prepared really for this league. I know it sounds a bit cringy, but we are so prepared right now.
yeah.
It's taken us around 2 or 3 years to get to where we are, so I'm just happy. But yeah, I want to start talking about players that have improved. So obviously, me and you, like boys, El Ghazi starting and all that. I'm not too sure if he had a few starts in the start of this season, but obviously last season coming to the end, we just really wasn't feeling it. But how do you like rate his like comeback in the Premier League?
Well, just on that page of players coming back, and obviously, as we mentioned so many times of how well we're doing right now. Obviously, when he came in, it was very interesting to see Craig Shakespeare coming in from Leicester. Do you think he's had an impact on this team?
Yes, I probably would, and it's like when I first saw him come in, I did see a very different shape of defence. Like Joe penalties, free kicks were being taken against our keeper and that. I feel like we're really, really strong in defence since. Like, he's definitely had a really good sound it. I'm not too sure if his special, is defence. I'm not too sure what he actually does. I've actually forgot what he does. But it's just, I see definitely a different defence from us. I'm not too sure how long ago this was, but I remember when a free kick was getting taken and all our players was just holding on to each other, all day in a row. And it really works. So, yeah, I'll definitely say he's had a really good input on what he's doing with the club. But I'd definitely say John Terry as well. Obviously, I didn't really want him anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like he would definitely be suited at Derby. I think he was linked with. But I think he's done all right so far. I don't really have anything to say about him, to be honest. I think they're both done all right. Obviously, the one in charge of the goalkeeping situation, I forgot his name as well. So obviously he's doing an amazing job. So obviously Martinez is just amazing, isn't it? Like, obviously he's conceded a lot of goals, but that can come down to anything. That can come down to the defence and all that. But Martin's been doing a really good job. So everyone, the assistants or the assistant managers, definitely doing a really good job. So what do you think?
Yeah, it's as you said. I think, as we said with John Terry, I think at the end of the season we could have asked him to go, and I still think he will at some point. I think he will go to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Because I think he wants it. But I think he's finally understood his role as a coach rather than being this player. And I think with that level of experience that he brings from his Chelsea days and even playing with Villa, overall he still offers us something much greater in defence, and it's finally starting to see the line. It does on the line of defence. I saw this yesterday on Instagram. Apparently, Dean Smith gets the players to watch the likes of old school Liverpool and Lazio videos on how they defend to give us the inspiration. So it shows that Dean Smith is clearly seen what was wrong last season and working on to change that form, and it has turned around. As where we have the most clean sheets in the league, and I think all the coaches doing the work. And as I said, I think Craig Shakespeare's done a massively beneficial job. I don't know, admittedly, what he does. Obviously, we don't know.
Yeah, I'm not too sure why actually.
Yeah, but I think overall what he has brought is a lot of stability within the club and a lot more commitment and energy to matches. On your topic of players improved, obviously El Ghazi, for me, obviously the West Brom game 2 years ago, I think since then he was one of my favourite players. He was absolutely superb in the game. Obviously, he had the dip in form last year, and we said he was probably the worst player last season. And I think right now he's finally coming back. And although I still don't think it's the same El Ghazi that I've said I know he can be in the likes of a Ronaldo wannabe, models himself on Ronaldo, I still think he's on his way there now. And obviously, the goals is just boosting his confidence even more and more. And it's like, well, we've got Trezeguet, who may not be able to score or bring an assist, but the work rate's there. We've obviously got Traore, who will probably not always be the best at times in the game, but will definitely get a goal and assist. And then we've got El Ghazi, who we know can get a goal and assist now. So it's that nice little competition in that position where Jack Grealish is manning down that left wing side. It's interesting to see the player development. Obviously, as I said, Konsa and House. I would have initially said House as my player of the season last year. But he got injured, and I think Collins has really stepped up. But obviously, Jack Grealish took the spot. But I think them two worked well. I still think Mings is probably slowly dipping now in form. Engels, I have no idea what's going to happen to him, but he's probably going to get sold. Because I just don't... It's not that he's not good enough, I just don't think he's...
There's a reason he's not getting played.
Yeah, and then I just think House and Konsa are so good that although Mings isn't probably the worst option to play, just stick with House and Konsa. Obviously, left back, he's managed to really turn around Target into probably one of the better left backs in the league. Although, as we've said, Neil Taylor's better defensively than Target.
Yes.
Whilst Neil Target wants to attack, I think defensively he's been doing a superb job and has been much better playing against Chelsea.
I'll agree with that as well.
It's just interesting to see how he's developed. Obviously, it's a completely different squad. We've seen Jack Grealish be turned into probably a player that we already knew was good, but wasn't really. Um, it's as I've said before with Jack Grealish, he wasn't as good as he was until the start of the promotion season. Although he was going to leave, he stayed, and although he wasn't really at that same caliber he could have been, he was still all right. And then obviously as the game went on, we started seeing a talent emerge to the point where he's ready for the Premier League. We're going to the Premier League. He's obviously had a bit of a shaky first half, but came back in the second to be absolutely superb. And he's obviously so good right now that I couldn't see him sold for less than 100 million. To be honest, I don't really think. I think he will still go at some point, but I think we've got a good few years out of him. And then obviously we've got to talk about the new players. It's not really. It's hard to say who's newly developed because a lot of the team is so different. But obviously Cash being really good, Martinez an excellent choice. We've still got Heaton and Steer deserves a lot of mention, even though he's probably going to get a lack of game time now, which is a shame because you got to think again 2 seasons ago he was the starting keeper. I think overall, although I'd like to keep him, I think really he's going to get weighted. He's not really going to get game time because we still have Tom Heaton, we still have Martinez, but I'd like to think there is a place for Steer somewhere in Villa. Obviously, midfield, McGinn, who I think really since the injury he's trying to come back. I think he's coming back really, really well now. He's still not 2018 McGinn that we saw when he first signed, but I think he's definitely on his way there. Douglas Luiz, I think that's probably one of the best places we can look. He's turned him around so quickly from being just this midfielder that wasn't really offering anything since the Bournemouth and Norwich games to a player that the likes of Juventus and even Barcelona would want to have in their team. It's just really nice to see. And then obviously the striker position, although really we still got to see it play out because I think it's too early to judge Ollie Watkins, even though it's a much better upgrade than Wesley. I still like to see Wesley come back into the team because I think Wesley would be a nice, refreshing sight to see on the pitch, other than Davis, who I think needs the loan time, but he's definitely one for the future.
Yeah.
I just think overall, it's hard to say players he's improved just because it's not really. The players were playing good anyway. They were still there. It was just a tough run of form that they had, but it's just a nice, refreshing, exciting team to see, considering the younger age that they are.
So obviously, with I agree with what you say. Obviously, Watkins, Traore, Cash, Martinez, we can't fully judge them on their time with us, but obviously we can with El Ghazi now because obviously we've had them longer. But since we've had these players in, it's definitely been a very, very different team. And I liked it because this time around, we didn't have to get in like 13 players. We didn't have to have this new team. So what we did, we had this season with all these 13 new players, and we were like, all right, he needs to go, he needs to stay. We need to get someone in. So obviously we got the 5 new players. And then ever since then, everything's just clicked, and it's just like, what's happened? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just such a good turnaround, and that's where I want to bring at the end of this too. Is where do we go now? Like, are we going for just about staying up? Are we going for top bottom half? Are we going for top half? Going for top 6? Are we going for Europa? Or are we going for top 4? What would you say for this season? Like, what would you say from now? Where could we actually end? Like, highest?
Well, let's break it down. Obviously, as we're recording, it's December 31st. The January transfer window is going to be open. First and foremost, signing-wise, I think we can agree if there is going to be a weakness in Villa, it's the bench. It's just not good enough.
Oh.
And I think obviously we're missing the likes of Trezeguet. Barkley, as I said, I think then it gives us a bit more option. And as soon as you put Barkley back into a team, you put Trezeguet on the bench, it's looking a little bit better. But overall, as much as I still think we need a player like Nakamba, he's not really screaming somebody that's going to play And I think the only issue with him is he's more of a defensive player who's going to sit in rather than what Dean wants to play in, which is attacking football. So I think there's an issue there. Neil Taylor and Emma Hammond, you don't scream danger. And when you're only going into it with Davis as your striker, a little bit worrying. So obviously, January, we need to make a few more signings. It's as I said, I'd like Rico Henry just for long-term thinking in that it gives him some time to develop in the Premier League before having that full season, whilst being ready. So when Neil Taylor goes and Elmer Hamilton goes, we're ready there with our two fullbacks. Obviously, we'll still have Wesley back, but they are looking at options for a new striker, considering he's probably not going to come back now until late January. And then you've got to argue, okay, do we send Davis out? Do we keep him in the case of, Watkins gets injured? You've got to consider all these things. Obviously, the Barkley situation, does he sign a permanent? For me, I've already said no, let's wait till the end of the season. Although Chelsea want to ship him out with a bunch of other players, and we could probably get him for a really reasonable price. I think right now it's just not worth it considering he's been injured. So obviously we've got to look there. I'm hoping we're bringing about 2 or 3 more players. And I think then we are good to go. And then obviously we've got to look at where we are in the league. We're currently 5th. The Tottenham game's been postponed. So obviously we're going to have... we've still got 2 games in hand. We're obviously, as I said, for me, one of the best teams, if not the best form team in the Premier League right now. Obviously Manchester United. Right. I don't think we're finishing below 10th. I think we're so far ahead of the mid-table clash. Although I did say in a few videos ago that I think we're now stuck in the mid-table just because of how we haven't really capitalised on the likes of Leeds and Southampton and Brighton and West Ham, obviously. I think after watching the turnaround, for me, it all depends on Man United. If we beat Man U, or at least get a draw out of it, I would say, you know what, maybe there's even a bit more there. Top 8, obviously, we're not going to be seeing Arsenal because they're naff. And I think every other team is just slipping up. And as I said, apart from Man U and initially Tottenham, I don't see a team to be scared of because we can beat them all. So obviously, we've got to consider that. I think top 8. I don't really see... I'd love top 6. I'd really love top 6. But I think at some point we're going to falter. I think it's going to happen. But, overall, it doesn't really matter. I'd say we're going to finish in top 10. Probably 8th or 9th. But I think overall, you've got to look at it as we were 17th last season. We survived by a point. We are now going to be sitting at the end of this season as probably having one of the best seasons in a very, very long time. As far back as 15, 14 years ago, obviously with the Martin O'Neill era. I think overall it doesn't really matter because we've come so far as a team. Everyone is backing the manager. We have the players. We have great owners. As you said, we didn't need to sign 13 players because we have owners that are willing to put that much money to put 100 million back into us after the nearly calamitous year that we had. Bringing in a new, obviously, transfer looker in John Longe. Obviously, it just feels so much a different club. It's finally on that way back up. I'd like silverware. But I'd rather consider a really good position this year because we're not really going to get to a final unless in the FA Cup we do some bits.
Exactly.
Overall, I don't mind. I'd rather want a better, good finish in the league if we're giving it silverware. And then perhaps next year we can say, well, let's strengthen, let's improve that bench, go for top 6, or go for an FA Cup because really, I think the ceiling's the limit with Villa, and I think. It's as you say, it's probably one of the most exciting times to be a Villa fan right now.
Exactly. Except from us, I'd say the next team in this league who's having a season where you can sort of compare it.
Man U. Everton. Man U or Everton. Because Liverpool...
It's still boring though, isn't it?
Yeah, Liverpool aren't playing. Man City are... not really good in the league right now. Tottenham and Arsenal so far gone. Leicester's not worrying. It's just every team that was at first at some point, like Southampton, like Everton, they're going to falter. And I think with Villa, we're managing to keep a consistency here. And I think
Yeah.
we're definitely a team that needs to continue to be watched and not put down. Because really, it's as I said, let me just look at some of the teams that are obviously around us. Obviously, Chelsea, they're in a bit of mud. You could say West Ham. West Ham aren't really there. And then Leicester City, really, they've only got Jamie Vardy and other Harvey Barnes and Madison are capable of doing it. Really, we're not seeing any goals from elsewhere. It's just we've got to make sure that we don't slip up to the bottom three and overall just, look back at it and say we could have done more because, quite frankly, we can beat everybody.
We can. Like, it's like what you just said. The only teams that you can sort of say we might have a bit of a chance would definitely be Tottenham and Man United, who would be going against next. If we went against Man City, I'd definitely be quite confident with the 3 points, but obviously we've got to go against Man United now. And it's just so convenient. Like, we've had to go against Chelsea, Man United and Tottenham, the only 3 teams that are really sort of in form that, where we are right now. They're the 3 that we should be challenging. And once we challenge that, then we can start talking about like top 6 and that. But I said to you, if you're going to say to me, do you think we can get top table or top 6? I said to you, wait till all these fixtures come out. Obviously, we've got a point against Chelsea. Wait for the Man United and Tottenham game. If we actually get something from all 3 of them games, I'm definitely confident we can get top 6. But I'll just say out my predictions now, because obviously in August we had those predictions for the season. There's just nothing
compared to it.
Oh my god! Like, for instance, Sheffield United bottom of the table. I think I predicted them like 9th. Like, what happened there? But I'd say actually I'm going to start with the full table, like relegation.
Was he? I don't get that far into depth.
No, I'm not going to get.
Just say with Villa we're going to finish.
All right. So first of all, I'll just say quickly. I'm going to say Sheffield United, Fulham, Brighton.
You don't think West Brom will get relegated, even though they're so nuts?
West Brom, they're having a little bit of a grey patch, and I do believe Allardyce will get those.
He's not. He got spanked 5-0. He's not doing it.
You got to remember, we got done 3-0. Well, you know what I mean?
Well, it doesn't matter to Leeds.
But I do feel like they will just about get 17th, just over Brighton. I feel like Brighton's days are very limited. If you're losing to Arsenal as well, and you're not getting anything really against Fulham, or who else are they going against? You lost against Burnley. Just nothing happening. But yeah, that's my bottom 3. Top 6 is. This is what I'm saying now, and I might be a bit of a dickhead for saying it. I'm saying, right, Leicester 6, Aston Villa 5th. I know I said 9th, but if we're gonna make a fucking push of things, like I think we should just like shut out the FA Cup. We don't need it. If we do beat Liverpool in it, like, great days, isn't it? But yeah. So Leicester 6th, Villa 5th, Chelsea 4th, Man City 3rd, Liverpool 2nd, Tottenham 1st. Oh. And the only reason I'm saying that, Tottenham, they're even looking at Grealish right now. Like, obviously not going to get
Everyone wants him.
Everyone wants him, don't they? But if they're looking at these players, they're definitely wanting to win the league, aren't they? I know I didn't say Everton in this top 6 because I do believe they need a year or so for the group to gel a bit more. I do believe one day they will win the league, but it's just not going to be this season or the next. But, last season we were talking about Sheffield United getting Europa, and they'll just I don't actually know how many points they were off it, but they were very close, weren't they? But this is that season where we can go for it, where we're pushing that height and we can just capitalise to get Europa. So, I would have been, for starting the season, I was even saying to you, 15th for us, something like that would be amazing for us. But now we're looking at Europa and top 6. It's just amazing. So I'm gonna end the video there. Obviously we've got Man United. I might as well just say my prediction because obviously you're doing a prediction video for that. So the last time we went against them, we got done 3-0 our home. I don't think anyone was there, but I do feel like it'll stem from that stupid penalty decision. I'm going to say for this one, because Barkley's back, and I do believe Mings will start again, because obviously it's going to be an absolutely amazing elite team we're going to start. I'm going to say 2-1 to the Villa. I think there'll be a goal from El Ghazi again. You're going to be very shocked with this. I'm going to say a goal from Rashford and to end off a screamer from McGinn. I do feel like he's going to have another go because obviously he likes it against these top clubs. Obviously last season he had one against Tottenham. Who else did he have one against? It was Arsenal as well. So yeah. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, anything else you want to say to end the year off? The amazing year.
Just win Villa.
Yeah, up the Villa. So hope you like the video, guys. Hope you like the video. It's just been an amazing year for the Villa fans. I hope all you Villa fans out there are just having an amazing time. You're loving the scores. You're loving, bragging to all your friends who are like blue noses, West Brom fans. All you have to do is just give them that, and just like, what do you mean? So yeah, up the Villa. Instagram, Twitter in the description. Let's have a like spot. Obviously,
like spot.
I think we're the only ones who've doing a video like this so far. So you know what I mean? It's mental. It's just the season's mental. So, yeah. Hope you like the video, guys. Up the Villa, with the Pride Villa. We'll see you next time.